Hello, fellow crafters. This is Shelby, the Teen and Adult Services Librarian at Hussey-Mayfield Memorial Public Library, and I am doing a series for summer called Creative Bug Crafting. And I want to show you just how fun and easy it is to adapt some of these creative bug crafts and give them a try. You might have to change them around a little bit or try some different things, but overall they're really easy and fun to do, and it has great ideas. So I want to go over the craft I picked this week, which is arm knitting or arm knitting a pillowcase. So if you have an old pillow at home or something you kind of just want to revamp a little bit, you can go and get some yarn and make a really cool pillowcase that will be very decorative for your home. If you don't know anything about Creative Bug, I put some instructions here on the video as to how to get to it. It's a free online resource available to you and has crafts of all kinds, even for kids all the way through adults. So follow those instructions, go give it a try. If you have questions, you can always shoot me an email or check on our website as well. So to start this craft, I put a few things on here you would need. So I simplified this from what the video showed. They did do their own fabric wrap around the pillow to match the color of the yarn. I already had a pillow that I liked of that color. So at Michael's, I found 3 skeins of yarn in 3 different colors. This is also a little different from what they did on the video. They took the yarn and did a color for a while and then switched it to another color and then went back to the original color. I used all 3 colors at the same time. This yarn was thick enough that I didn't need 4 strands. I was able to do it in 3. It did thin it out just a little bit, but not enough that I think it was noticeable. Also, my skeins of yarn, the largest I could find was 42 yards. That got me about, one set of 3 skeins got me through about a little over half of the project, so I did have to go buy 3 more skeins. But it depends on how big your pillow is. Mine is 16 by 16. And on the videos, theirs was 18 by 18. You'll also need scissors, measuring tape, and a tube or some kind of item that you can just stick your stitches on in case you need to take a break or anything like that. Really, any long, solid implement will do. Just something to kind of hold your place like your arm. Even a broomstick handle or anything like that would work. Just don't use something small like a pencil or a pen or something like that. Then, of course, you'll need a pillow. And you can pick what size you want. You could go smaller and only use 1 skein of yarn if you wanted, or you can go bigger. I just happen to have this one on hand. And it's kind of a brown tannish color that goes really well with the purples and the grays and the blues that I picked. Oh yes, our code word is yarn. So make sure you sign up for summer reading, go into the activities, and after you've watched this video, go in and put that you were at this video and use the word yarn to get 2 more points towards summer reading raffle tickets. So the next picture that I see here that you can see is when I started practicing. So I definitely recommend practicing first because even though I've finger knitted and arm knitted in the past, it still took me a little bit to figure out. And even though it turned out pretty well, I still had a few things that I was trying to figure out. So I definitely recommend practicing. And even though I didn't measure out exactly my stitches like they did, I kind of just eyeballed it. I didn't feel the need to figure out the exact measurements. This was kind of me holding it over my pillow to see exactly how it was going. As you can see on this next picture here, that I used 3 different colors. I started them all at the same edge, and I made sure that I had a really long tail. That way, I found that if I used the tail and I didn't have enough, I couldn't put on as many casts as I wanted to start off with. So I made sure I had a long tail, and even though I had extra on it, it still worked out really nicely. You can always work with extra, you just can't add more to it. So make sure you've got a nice long tail. I used 10 casts on for my pillow. That made it wide enough that it was able to work around the edge and still not be too stretched. You might try something different, but I originally, when I did the practice, I did 8, like they said in the video, but then when I went back and checked it, I decided to go ahead and add 10, and that worked out for me. I just kind of eyeballed it. So everything in the video is explained very, very well. I do think they can teach you everything you need to know, so I didn't go over all those things, but one thing I struggled with was what to do after you create that 4. So once you use your tail to create the 4 shape, when you pull your working yarn through, then you can see that for that, she says to twist it a little bit. I found that not twisting it worked better. So when I twisted it, it made a bigger knot at the end than was necessary. And what I've done in the past with finger knitting and arm knitting did not do that. So for this one, I literally picked it up and stuck my hand straight through it instead of twisting it and then putting my hand straight through it. You should do that, like she said, for the video for the rest of everything else. But for casting on, I don't recommend that. So this was the first set of skein of yarn that I used over the pillow. And as you can see, it goes almost over the entire front of the pillow. And then I got about maybe a third of the way down the pillow before I had to add another set of yarn. So I went ahead and just showed you this picture so you could kind of get a feel for it. And I did everything else by the way she said in the video, and it took me, between practice and figuring everything out, I was able to do everything up to this point in less than 2 hours. It became really easy and quick to do. So I think you should go out and give it a try, and I hope you really enjoy it. Just make sure to look for the finished project pillow. It's going to be a prize for summer reading that you can put a raffle ticket in for, and that's how you'll be able to see the finished product. If you have any questions, just give us a call at the library or shoot me an email at shelbyc@zionsvillelibrary.org. Thanks so much for participating. Stay tuned for our next video next week.